Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2017 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you always for those of you who continue to watch, listen, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. A big thank you to those of you who continue to keep me so busy with personal one-on-one readings and to my regular clients as well. For those of you who are interested in a one-on-one personal reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you can click on the About or Description button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you a little more information on what I do. I do a wide variety of readings, and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can also find me on instantgo.com, which is a great phone app for iPhone users, which I believe will be available to Android users next year. The InstantGo app is for just quick 1 or 2 question answers that I can usually get back to you within the same day. And for those of you who want the more in-depth personal one-on-one readings, of course, just email me and we'll schedule a reading for you. Current turnaround time for scheduled personal readings is pretty fast. It's anywhere between 1 and 3 weeks. I do readings full-time, 6 days a week. It is what I do. So I'm usually able to get back with you within the same day and schedule a reading almost always within a 1 to 3 week period of time. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll go from there. For those of you who are looking more for just a quick little burst, 1 or 2 quick questions with a faster response, you can download the InstantGo app and contact me from there. You can find me under Irish Gypsy on instantgo.com as well. So moving right along, make sure to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well. As those of you know, these are general readings, and there's a lot of you watching, so of course they're not going to mean the same thing for everybody watching to the same degree and intensity. So watch your rising and your moon sign videos if you know them, and if you can. They can sometimes resonate a little more predictively for you than your primary or sun sign. And just by watching all 3, you can get additional insight and clarification to what's going on in your life for the time frame that the reading covers. Okay, let's get right into this. This reading is for the fire sign of Leo for October 2017, mid-month. Since we're focusing more on the last half of the month rather than the month in its entirety, I'll be pulling 2 cards for each of the last 2 remaining weeks, with an additional 5th card from the bottom of the deck for overall energy and guidance. So Leo, we have the 3 of Swords with the Knight of Cups, and we have the 4 of Wands with the 10 of Wands, and from the bottom of the deck we have the Fool for overall guidance and advice. Let's just take a look here, Leo. This is an interesting reading, Leo. I think for the majority of you, I'm actually feeling that a lot of you have been perhaps a bit unrealistic or hypersensitive about something going on in your lives, a kind of a heartbreak or emotional pain or disappointment. I think for a lot of you, it's going to reflect in your relationship life, your love life. Now, again, you can translate this same energy into any area of your life, work, career. For some of you, this may have to do with job, work, career, and artistic or creative endeavor, spiritual matters as well. Well, I'm feeling for the majority of you, what I'm channeling is relationship energy here. And it's interesting because I think for a small portion of you, this could represent being unrealistic or having been unrealistic about the possibility of a relationship could have led you to a space of emotional pain or heartbreak. And there may be that element in a positive way too. But my point is, Leo, is that I think that perhaps because of negative relationship experiences in the past, you may be thinking that something is worse than it is, or that something or someone's going to break your heart, when in fact it's not. There's just a certain level of patience required here. With the 3 of Swords and the Knight of Cups, the 3 of Swords Swords is air energy, so and this is a mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. The energy of the suit of swords often reflects what goes on up in our heads, our thoughts and our ideas and our words, our belief systems, what we think about things, and how that affects the way that we communicate. The Three of Swords can be a card of heartbreak, of emotional pain, or a deep sense of disappointment. And paired with the Knight of Cups, Knights usually represent things coming into your life at a fair speed. It can also represent guidance on the energy you need to manifest to seize something, offers or opportunities coming in. Cups is water energy, and this usually reflects in the area of our life that deals with emotions and feelings and relationships. The Knight of Cups, the challenge with the Knight of Cups, this can represent an offer of love. It can represent an offer of emotional support. And again, because this is a general reading and there's so many of you watching, how this manifests in your life and to what degree is going to vary, of course. For something more intensive, you have to reach out for a personal reading. For some of you, this may represent that you may have reached out in love or emotional support. And this could be love in terms of love and romance. And this could just be reaching out to somebody for emotional support. And you may have been rejected, or there may be a fear of rejection as well. Because I'm getting, while for some of you this may have reflected something that's ongoing, you're feeling hurt, maybe rejected, or a little, or somewhat heartbroken even for some of you because you feel you've been rejected. I think for a lot of you, more than half of you, I feel like for a lot of you, this is fear of reaching out because you feel like you're going to be hurt or rejected in some way based on either previous experiences you've had with this person or just your previous relationship history in and of itself. And when I say relationship, it doesn't necessarily mean romance. It can mean friendship or another type of close connected relationship. I feel like for a lot of you, this hesitancy in reaching out, while you may have had some bad experiences, I feel like you're anticipating heartbreak or rejection when in fact that's not what you're going to get in return. Again, for some of you, it could be on the opposite end. You might be feeling disappointed, heartbroken, or rejected because you've reached out to someone and they have, turned you down in some way, shape, or form. But I think like for a lot of you, you're wanting to. And I feel like for some of you too, I'm getting that some of you are actively involved in a relationship of some kind. And you're feeling like the person is going to reject you or is in the process of rejecting you. Maybe I'm getting that for some of you, there's a feeling of distance or a lack or a lessening of communication. And you're kind of actually imagining and future tripping heartbreak or emotional pain in your head or a sense of rejection, when in fact the other person just actually has things going on in their lives right now which are taking up their time and attention. So it just kind of depends on which Leo you are watching this, or watching this for a Leo. So next to that, around the last week or so of October 2017, we have the Four of Wands, followed by the Ten of Wands. I mean, there's actually a lot of positive energy in this reading, which is one of the reasons I'm feeling like for a lot of you, not for all of you, some of you, this is, an active sense of challenging emotional energy because you've been rejected or you feel you've been rejected. But I think for more of you, it's almost as if you're going to find out at the end that what you thought was going on isn't really going on. And this whole fear of I'm being rejected or I'm going to be rejected or something or someone's going to break my heart in some way, shape, or form in some kind of relationship, you're going to find out towards the end of October, the beginning of November, that's just not the truth, that it was really something else, not what you were imagining. So we have the Four of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Wands is fire energy. This is an active energy suit. Creating, building, manifesting energy can represent careers, artistic endeavors, creative endeavors, etc. But it's forward moving and fluid energy, and it's all about building, creating, and manifesting. The Four of Wands is actually a celebratory card. It can represent a celebratory, and it's often centered around a celebratory event of some kind of party, a get-together, You may be planning a party, or you may be planning on attending one over the next couple of weeks. The Four of Wands can represent marriage. The energy is an anticipatory, a beautiful, fun, exciting, anticipatory sort of energy. It's kind of the energy like if somebody were coming home, or somebody were planning on getting married or graduating, and this is about the energy, you know, you're preparing for this, you're getting ready for this, maybe you're planning a party around this, and it's that excited, anticipatory energy around it. Now, the Four of Wands is also sometimes referred to as the happy surprise card, because often when this card comes up, it represents an unexpected something, an unexpected surprise. Something unexpected is headed your way, but it's very positive. It's a blessing. It's going to leave you feeling happy and even overjoyed as well. So when this card comes up, I always tell clients, if you get in, don't turn down any invitations you get over the next few weeks to go to a party or to have a party of some kind, because even if you think it's not going to be all that exciting, because when the Four of Wands comes up, it usually represents that something's going to happen around that event, or around something that's coming up for you that's going to be unexpected, but that's going to end up making you feel very happy. It also represents just that anticipatory joy of celebrating the culmination of something. Now, it's paired with the Ten of Wands. So tens represent cycles ending, the full achievement, a coming together, reaching either something coming to an end or coming to a milestone where you're going to transition into something else. It usually represents the achievement of something or the culmination of something. The Ten of Wands can represent a burden coming to an end. And I always feel kind of a long-standing energy off the Ten of Wands. This weight of these 10 wands that he's carrying is so heavy, he can't even stand up under the weight of it. He's carrying them successfully, but it's a big burden. And I always feel like it started off as one or two, and then gradually it became more and more until it became this 10. But he's near the end of his journey. He's just about at that place. His head is up. He's looking at his destination. He's nearing that place where he can finally lay this burden down, stand up, and take a deep breath. It can also represent feeling overwhelmed, or coming to the end of a situation that you've put in a lot of work, a lot of patience, a lot of dedication into. For some of you, I keep getting this message. For some of you, you may find yourselves, particularly in the first part of October, within a relationship that you want to end in a certain way. You want to end up culminating in this certain way, like perhaps getting married, moving in together. For some of you, okay, I'm just getting actually a parental energy for some of you about your kids graduating or making it through school. However the specifics play out in your life, as I always say, the energy fundamentally remains the same. Whatever this situation is, for a lot of you, not all of you, but for a lot of you, that you feel like you've been like working at and waiting for and hoping in and being patient and putting in a lot of work and just kind of enduring, putting one foot in front of the other, it is going to culminate in a very happy and perhaps even unexpected sort of way. I feel like a lot of you may just be, particularly the first half of the month, may just be tired going, is this ever going to turn out to be what I want, or am I going to end up getting my heart broken, whatever the situation or type of relationship it is. But again, I feel like you're overthinking this or over anticipating disappointment and pain, when in fact that's not actually what's coming. What's actually coming is something quite happy. And there's also some guidance saying, just be patient a little bit longer. You're almost there. For some of you, you may actively be in some kind of emotional pain because you feel you've been, rejected somehow, or some of you do have emotional support through an emotionally challenging process. It could be some of you have recently gone through a breakup, but there is emotional support there for you. Again, regardless of which side of this story that you're on, it does look like there are people around you that are there to support you and to love you. And regardless of what the reality is playing out, at the end of the month, I feel like there's some unexpected blessings coming your way. And however the details play out, it's going to represent the end of this burden, whether it's an actual like long-term relationship that finally culminates in marriage, or that you've been helping somebody, supporting somebody through something, whether it's school or regardless of the nature of it, it's actually coming to a very successful and happy end. For a smaller portion of you too, this may not relate in your relationship area of your life at all. This could be you may have had some disappointments in a job or career path or a business of some kind, but there's been something coming in, some kind of opportunity which is in front of you to take, or which you are in the process of jumping on some kind of new offer or opportunity, and it's going to turn out to actually work a lot better for you than you think it is. I feel like it's going to provide the opportunity for you to actually increase your financial structure in a positive way that you're not anticipating. Again, for the majority of you, regardless of the details, it almost feels like you're hoping and wanting like this wonderful thing, but you're almost being kind of cynical about it, or you're almost afraid to hope in it because you've been disappointed or had your heart broken before. And also the Fool in your reading as well. The Fool with the Knight of Cups and the Three of Swords and the rest of these cards, it's almost as if your fears are almost illusionary. So keep that in mind, Leo. If you find yourself kind of going up and down or getting down or anticipating something bad happening, I think it's quite the opposite, actually. Your overall energy and advice is the Fool. The Fool is a beautiful Major Arcana card. So those of you who follow me regularly know this is my favorite card in the deck. The Fool represents new beginnings. Actually, the breath before the first step of a new journey. The Fool actually represents that time in between something coming to an end and something new beginning. That in between place where you're considering. It's really about potential, possibilities. It's also about taking a risk. The Fool is not one to keep to the well-trodden path. He often veers off on his own, takes a risk. It can represent doing something new, taking a risk, taking a new opportunity for some of you in some area of your life, whether it's relationship or career or some kind of entrepreneurial or even artistic or creative endeavor. It represents stepping off the beaten path, doing something maybe that you haven't done before, perhaps stepping outside of your comfort zone, something that may feel a little risky or a little unknown because you want to achieve something more, achieve something different, and you're willing to do that. New beginnings, brand new beginnings. And the Fool is here to remind us too that, the tarot is really about the Fool's journey, i.e. us. It begins with the Fool and it ends with the culmination of the world. And it's all about his journey, our journey through life and how we grow and evolve. The Fool is here to remind us that ultimately it's about the journey itself, not so much being goal-focused or destination-oriented. It's always good to set goals and to work towards those goals. But the Fool is here to remind us that it's about what we learn and how we grow along the way too. So it's okay to step off the beaten path. And get outside of our comfort zone and take some risks. We don't want to go to the negative end of the spectrum of the Fool. As I always say, we want to make sure there's water in the pool, at least some, before we jump into it. But it's about perhaps seizing new opportunities and considering possibilities and potentials and trying not to get stuck in fear. Even though it may be difficult for those of us who have had perhaps a lot of pain or disappointments in life. This is about staying focused on possibilities, potentials, and seizing those when they come up, because I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised at the end of October, beginning of November, Leo. So that pretty much wraps up your October 2017 mid-month general readings. Thank you so much for watching it. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can go to the About or Description button on my YouTube channel's homepage, which will give you some more information, and my email address, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can also find me on the iPhone app, instantgo.com, for a more quick and immediate answer if you just have some quick 1 or 2 questions. It's not too in-depth, but you can find me there as well for those of you with iPhones. And that information is also under the About or description button on my YouTube channel's homepage. Thank you so much for watching, Leo. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.